Before we begin, a word of caution. The story we are about to explore is a dark one, rooted in historical fact. Viewer discretion is advised. Right then, settle in. I'm going to tell you a grim little chapter from the annals of true crime, a tale that unfolded in the shadows of a nation on its knees. This story haunted the city of Hanover in the early 1920s, a time when Germany was reeling from the devastation of the Great War. The Weimar Republic was a fragile entity, and its people were grappling with hyperinflation, unemployment, and profound social upheaval. It was a landscape of desperation, and in such landscapes, monsters can walk freely. His name was Friedrich Heinrich Karl Hamann, known to most as Fritz Hamann. Born in 1879, he was a man of contradictions. By day, he was a familiar face in the old town, a petty dealer in second-hand clothes, and a trusted police informant. He moved with an air of authority, a man who knew the city's secrets, and who the authorities seemed to leave alone. But by night, he was a hunter in the urban wilderness of broken post-war Germany. His hunting ground was the city's main railway station. Picture it: mist curling off the tracks, the air thick with coal smoke, and the quiet desperation of the displaced. Here, boys and young men, often runaways or drifters, would arrive from the countryside, their faces etched with a mixture of hope and fear. They were looking for work, for shelter, for a foothold in a world that had forgotten them. They were vulnerable, and Hamann knew it. He would wait patiently, a predator in plain sight. Dressed in a sharp suit, he projected an image of respectability. He offered an easy charm, a warm smile, and promises of food, a drink, and a warm room for the night. For a young man with nothing, who had been sleeping rough and starving, this offer was an answered prayer. He reeled them in, one by one. He would lead them back to his small, squalid attic apartment on Rote-Ryer Street. Once inside, the door would close, and the world outside would disappear. His method was terrifyingly quick and intimate. He would wait until his guest was at ease, perhaps asleep, and then he would attack. The cause of death was almost always strangulation. But there was another, more gruesome detail. In a frenzy of rage, he would often bite his victims ferociously on the throat, a detail that would later earn him the chilling moniker, the Vampire of Hanover. After the murder, the bodies vanished into the night, dismembered and disposed of with cold efficiency. Now, here is the part of the story that chilled a city already starving and on edge. It's a detail that has become legend, though it was never definitively proven in court. In post-war Hanover, meat was scarce and prohibitively expensive. Dark rumours began to spread that Hamann, sometimes with his young accomplice Hans Grans, was selling parcels of cheap pork or canned meat on the black market and to his unsuspecting neighbours. The implication was monstrous. To this day, no one can say for certain what those parcels contained, but the very possibility turned public fear into abject horror. For years, as the number of missing young men grew, the police fumbled the investigation. Missing persons reports were lost, leads were ignored, and connections were missed. Part of the problem was Hamann himself. He was a trusted informant, a valuable asset in the city's underworld. He would help them catch petty thieves and burglars, all the while keeping the focus away from his own far more terrible crimes. He was protected by the very system meant to stop him. The chaos of war's aftermath and the transient nature of the crowded boarding houses provided the perfect cover. Young men came and went. Who would notice one more who simply disappeared? Then, in May of 1924, the River Line gave up its secrets. Skulls, and then more bones. Children playing by the riverbank, searching for firewood, stumbled upon the horror. Soon, hundreds of human bones and dozens of skulls were recovered from the river and its banks. Panic gripped the city. A mass murderer was at large. Finally, attention turned to the man who knew too much, the man who always seemed to be around when young men went missing. On June 23, 1924, police raided his rooms. They found bloodstains and, most damningly, heaps of clothing belonging to the missing boys, buttoned, folded and labelled as if a macabre shop were being run from inside a nightmare. With his arrest, witnesses who had been too afraid to speak finally came forward. The pattern of disappearances, the clothing, the bones in the river, it was undeniable. Under interrogation, Haman confessed. He admitted to killing dozens of young men over a period of 6 years. His behavior was bizarre. He would joke and deflect, then deny everything, then confess again in lurid detail, almost like a man watching his own dark legend form in real time. The trial was a media sensation. In the end, he was convicted of 24 murders, though the true number is believed to be higher. On the morning of April 15, 1925, the guillotine fell, and the Butcher of Hanover was no more. An official silence followed as the city and the police force tried to bury the shame of their failure. But what lingers, what truly chills the bone, is the setting. A shattered society where a predator could move unseen for so long. The systems designed to protect the vulnerable failed. And in the face of hardship, people looked away. A clever man used charm as a mask and kindness as a weapon. This story is a stark reminder that predators thrive in the cracks of society, where shame, hunger and neglect open doors that should have remained firmly shut. So, learn the signs of grooming and manipulation. Ask questions when a situation feels wrong. If you're traveling or meeting someone new, always tell someone where you're going. Tell someone who you're meeting. And tell someone when you'll be back. These small acts of communication are a vital lifeline. History doesn't repeat itself, not exactly, but it often rhymes. Let's not miss the rhyme. Stay safe and stay curious.